and welcome to another radio imaging and production masterclass. Today we'll be speaking with none other than Joe Cipriano. My name is David Tyler. Yes, in case you don't know who Joe Cipriano is, he is, among other things, the signature voice of CBS and Fox, as well as the image voice of radio stations all around North America, including Fresh 102.7 in New York, Boom 973 in Toronto, Star 94.1 in San Diego, and the list goes on. You can find out more about Joe at his website, joecipriano.com. Today, Joe has graciously agreed to sit down and answer a few of the group's questions. Now, I know that he's just finishing up a promo session with CBS right now, but let's see if we can take a peek into his studio and see what's going on.
New tonight.
He's amazing.
It's a dance-off standoff.
My body does not do that.
A new Mike and Molly tonight, 9/8 Central.
It's amazing how you can go so fast and not sound like you're going that fast. It's really kind of a unique thing that you can do.
Well, thank you, Dave.
Okay, so as scripted on the next, and we're using
And while we wait, I should also tell you that Joe Cipriano has recently become an author. His book, which is called Living on Air, was recently published and is now available as an audiobook. In fact, later on in this video, I'll tell you how you can win a copy of Joe Cipriano's book, Living on Air. The audiobook, Living on Air. I think he's just about done now. Hey, Joe.
Well, there you go. I'm glad you were able to sit in on that. That was a CBS ISDN session, and lately we've been doing radio spots for CBS and also the on-air promos in the same session, which is kind of fun. And we used to have separate sessions for those, but now they've tried something different. So I was going to take you out of here, but here's my setup. And you see that hole right over there is because my ISDN box, one of them, just said goodbye after having it for, 1994 is when I first got that box. And it just got fried. So Dave, tell me, what can I answer? What can I help out with?
Well, I've got 5 questions for you from the group. We'll start with question number 1. What are the characteristics of a good VO talent?
Well, I think that characteristics for somebody who wants to be in voiceover. There are a lot of different genres of voiceover. I think, if we look at it overall, a very helpful characteristic to have is to never take no as an answer. And a lot of that is true in broadcasting as well. It's very important to always keep moving forward and believing in yourself and gaining that confidence in your skills so that you can continue to move forward, because there's no shortage of people that when you reveal to them what your goals and your dreams are, they'll say, "Oh, you can't do that. There's too many people doing that. You're not able to." So that's kind of an overall thing in, being a little bit thick-skinned, because you get a lot of no's and a lot of rejection. But if we're talking, and I think I probably will, kind of focus on promo. I think for network promo, for what I do and syndicated shows, timing is incredibly important. I mean, we're talking, you saw in that session there, you get 3 beeps at the top of the spot, and as you know, you might have 1.3 seconds, and then a SOT comes up, and then 1.8 seconds. So having the skill of being on the air was very helpful in promo, because it's almost like talking up a record, really. So I would have to say that's really something that's very, very important.
All right, then, question number 2 for you, Joe. Do you think your demo should show masses of versatility or pick a niche that you thrive in?
Yeah, for a demo, I think that, it depends on what you're going after. Traditionally, when you're looking for work, all of the different genres of voiceover should be separate. So you should have a promo demo, and you should have a radio imaging demo. You should have a narrator's demo, a trailer demo, a commercial demo, an animation demo. And the reason for that is quite simple. If you're up for a commercial, the producer, the casting person, doesn't want to hit play on your MP3 and have to sit through a promo, a trailer, until we get to a commercial, 45 seconds in. So they want to hear whatever it is that they're casting for. They want to hear that right away. So that's true when you're going out for work, and it's very important to keep all of that separate. I'm also okay with and a fan of doing a highlight reel. If you're looking for an agent, or if you want to represent what you sound like in all of these different genres that you work in, it's okay to put together a highlight reel. And it can show the best of you doing promos and animation and narration and commercials. Make it very short, make it under a minute, even 45 seconds, and make sure, it's labeled as a highlight promo. And that's good for going out to find an agent, for example, because they can hear everything all at once, but then back it up with your promo demo, the commercial demo, and all of the individual demos whatsoever. But that gives them an opportunity to hear you, in 45 seconds doing a lot of different things.
All right, question number 3 for you, Joe, from the group. How did you transition from radio to VO without being labeled the radio guy?
Yeah, I was labeled a radio guy. There's no doubt about it. Early on in my career, when I was trying to make the transition, listen, I never got it. I never heard it. I never understood it. But yes, it's true. And all of us in radio we have a certain sound about us. I think what happens is in radio, even though we're thinking and about talking one-to-one with the listener, it truly is we're broadcasting. And when you're broadcasting, you're up here and you're talking to the masses, kind of like what we do for live announcing for the Grammys, the Emmys, and those kind of things. It's like, ladies and gentlemen, but when you really get down to commercials and promos, it's that intimate one-on-one sort of conversation, which for radio guys and gals is a little hard to get rid of and also a little hard to identify. And it takes a good voice coach to help you with that and to get you out of it. I've heard some radio people who are, really have a radio sound, lose it and do amazing commercial work and narration and other genres of voiceover.
And now question 4 that actually came from a lot of different people. What made you choose to use the Sennheiser MKH 416?
Yeah, well, my first microphone, when I first built my studio, my wife Ann bought me a Neumann U87. And in all of my radio career, I had never used a Neumann microphone until I took a job here in Los Angeles at KHITZ, at KHTZ, which is 97.1 FM. It's now AMP radio. And when I got to those studios, every studio had a Neumann microphone in it. And wow, it sounded amazing. And when I started doing voiceovers, I was working for a studio called Prism Recording in Hollywood. And they had all U87s in all of their rooms. And I would rave about them. And so on my 30th birthday, Ann bought me. She contacted the owner of Prism Studios and said, "Can you help me buy a U87 for Joe?" And I got that on my 30th birthday as a surprise. And Ann said, "Okay, now go build a studio around it." And that's exactly what I did. And I transitioned I use both. I use the U87 and the 416, the Sennheiser. They're both rep by the same company. And the Sennheiser was made popular by Ernie Anderson, The Love Boat. And a lot of studios here in Los Angeles have 416s, especially studios that specialize in recording and producing and mixing promos. There's just something about that 416 pattern that just cuts right through explosions and orchestral music and all sorts of stuff. And ironically, while I use it for my promo stuff, and you saw me using it on the CBS promo, when it came time to do the audiobook of Living on Air, I started on the 416 and it just didn't sound right. And I pulled over the U87 and I started using that. And kind of turned up the Avalon a little bit, and it was just a richer sound, and it just sounded better with me narrating and really performing the book. It just was a better, fuller, warmer sound. The 416 can be a little harsh sometimes, but each microphone has its place. And I've done a ton of promos on U87s and Neumanns, so they all work. Don LaFontaine used to say, "It ain't about the microphone." So there you go.
And a final question for you from the group, Joe. Question number 5. What's your method for attacking new copy? Do you pre-read it, discuss it with the client first? What do you do?
Well, there's not often time to pre-read when we're doing promos. I mean, literally, the ISDN chirps, and you're, "Hey, how are you?" And they're going, "Great," and you're still pulling up the script, and then you just do it. But, that's from years and years and years of doing promos. And also, okay, I'm doing a comedy promo. I kind of know what they want. I think, at least for me, I know why I'm being hired, and I just need to bring that out. And again, voiceover, especially in commercial, is all about interpreting the copy. So it's very important to spend time with it if you can, if you have the luxury to, because that's where, and if you're in an audition situation, that's why you're going to win the job. It's not necessarily your voice. Your voice has a little bit to do with it, but it's your interpretation of the copy that they're hearing 50 people reading. And if you can bring something to it unique, that's where you're going to score. And, by the way, and that's something I want to say, a lot of folks that are getting into voiceover will try to emulate somebody like, I want to sound like Don LaFontaine or Scott Rummel or Ashton Smith. And, okay, and maybe you might pick up a few local spots like that because, that's that guy that sounds like, what's his name? But you know what? It's not going to pay off in the long run if you're going to start to move on in your career because Ashton's already Ashton and Scott Rummel's already Scott Rummel. So where you really start to move your career forward and have great success is when you just do you. Because guess what? Nobody else is doing that. And that's what makes you unique. So while it's great to be inspired by people that maybe you hear a lot doing voiceovers and you really enjoy their sound and you feel that they give you some sort of inspiration in your performance, that's okay. But still, all of it needs to be you. And I think that's very important.
Well, thank you, Joe. It's always great to be able to sit and learn from a master of your caliber.
Well, thanks. Yeah, this has been it's been really great, and I appreciate it. And I hope you enjoyed the little snippet of the CBS session. And I wish you all the best. David, thank you very much. And everybody, in the group, I stop by all the time and I see all the postings all the time and comment whenever I can. And I really enjoy it. I've learned a lot there. And so keep it up. And thanks very much for inviting me to do this. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Joe. Looks like the sun has finally set on our Masterclass today. And like I said at the top, you got a chance to win the audiobook version of Joe Cipriano's new book called Living on Air. All you need to do is share this video on Facebook. Share the video on Facebook, and your name will be put automatically into the draw for the audio version of Joe Cipriano's book, Living on Air. Talk to you next time.